Hi everyone. It's still summer. I love summer. And I have some books about summer and going back to school because I know many of you are going to be going to kindergarten or going to preschool. It'll be pretty exciting to get ready to go. So I wanted to bring you some books so you could see what happened with other people who went to kindergarten. Here you go, or went back to school. This is somebody you might remember. Do you remember when I read this story about Pout Pout Fish? I bet you do. I like that story too. This is about Pout Pout Fish, and he's going to go to school. He looks a little nervous, doesn't he? We got to see what this is about. It says, Pout Pout Fish goes to school. The same person who wrote the words, Deborah Deason, and drew the pictures, Dan Hanna, worked on this book too. A long time ago, when Mr. Fish was very small, he headed off to school for the first time of all. With a smooch from his parents and excited for his day, Mr. Fish rushed in. Then he lost his way. The big fish around him knew exactly where to go, finding lockers, finding classes in fast, smart flow. You can see it looks like a hall at a school. When you go to school, you'll see that there's lockers along the walls. Mr. Fish, left behind, with his grin sinking thin, finally stopped at a doorway and shyly looked in. The class was doing writing, and most everybody knew it, so he tried to print his name, but he just couldn't do it. Oh. So he flub, flub, frowned, making blub, blub, bubbles. Then he popped down his pencil, and he counted off his troubles. Trouble 1, I'm not smart. Oh no. Trouble 2, I'll never get it. Trouble 3, I don't belong. So number 4, I should just forget it. Oh. He has a lot of troubles. He floated down the long corridor. Then he sneak peeked a look through another room door. The class was drawing shapes, and most everybody knew it. He tried to make a rhombus, but he just couldn't do it. A rhombus is a four-sided shape. So he flub, flub, frowned, making blub, blub, bubbles. Then he plopped down his pencil, and he counted off his troubles. Number 1, I'm not smart. Number 2, I'll never get it. Number 3, I don't belong. So number 4, I should forget it. Oh, he sounds like he's having a pretty tough day. He drifted down the hallway with a doubt face. He spied another doorway. Maybe this is the place. This class was doing math, and most everybody knew it. So he tried long division, but he just couldn't do it. So he flub, flub, frowned, making blub, blub, bubbles, and he plopped down his pencil, and he counted off his troubles. Trouble 1, I'm not smart. Trouble 2, I'll never get it. Trouble 3, I don't belong. So 4, forget it. You can see he yelled because the words are so big. He rushed towards the exit. That's enough, I say. School is way too tough, and I'm not going to stay. Then a soft, kind voice said, Don't you fret. You don't have to know things you haven't learned yet. Your classroom awaits. I'm your teacher, Miss Hewitt. I'm here to help you learn, and I know that you can go through it. You're a fish who is smart. With practice you will get it. Young fish, you belong, and don't you ever forget it. The student and the teacher swam splish, splash, swish to the door with a sign marked, Brand New Fish. Oh, he had to go to the right room. Miss Hewitt said, Good morning. I'm excited you're all here. Together we have a spectacular year. Fact 1, you're smart. Fact 2, you can get it. Fact 3, you belong. So number 4, don't forget it. The class got to work and Miss Hewitt helped them through it. They listened and they tried, and everyone could do it. Mr. Fish gave a grim, Goodbye, blub, blub, bubbles. No more doubt, doubt, worry. No more flub, flub, troubles. He swam with his class, Miss Hewitt by his side, as the students and their teacher said with confidence and pride. Fact 1, you're smart. Fact 2, we can get it. Fact 3, we belong. And 4, we won't forget it. And they had a kinderguppy class reunion. Oh, he was a little worried when school started. But now he's feeling a lot more confident. Starting school can be kind of scary, but if Pout Fish can do it, so can you. I have another book about going to school. This one is about when dinosaurs go to school. I wonder what happens when dinosaurs go to school. Linda Martin wrote the words to this story and drew the pictures. When dinosaurs go off to school, they like to look their best. They wash behind their ears and scales, and they're always nicely dressed. Oh, you can see he took a shower, and she's putting a bow in her hair. They have a healthy breakfast and eat a piece of fruit. They give Mom and Dad a hug, and out the door they scoot. Hey. Here comes the yellow school bus. They find a seat inside. They laugh and talk and make new friends. It's a very happy ride. At last they reach the schoolhouse, where some have come by car, and some have even walked to school, because they don't live very far. Wow, look at all the students getting ready to go into the school. The school bell rings to start the day. How bright the classroom looks. They start with spelling lessons, and they read their storybooks. Next, they paint with finger paints. They're squishy, wet, and runny. Some pictures turn out pretty nice, and some look pretty funny. Soon it's time to exercise, so they head out for the gym, where they learn how to kick a ball, and others learn to swim. Oh, they're playing soccer, and they're in the pool. I see now. When dinosaurs get hungry, it must be time for lunch. Today is prickly pizza, their favorite thing to munch. prickly pizza. This is the lunchroom. Everybody goes and gets their food and then comes and sits down at their table. The recess bell begins to ring. It's time to play outside. They all take turns at hopscotch and ride the dino slide. Oh, that looks so fun. Then come music lessons. They learned a brand new song. The music teacher swings a stick and taps his foot along. Next, they learn their numbers. They learn how flowers grow. But now the school day's over, and it's time for them to go. Dinosaurs all say goodbye, and soon they're on their way. But they'll be back tomorrow for another fun-filled day. The end. Well, that's how dinosaurs go to school. They ride a bus. Some children will ride a bus, and some children will have their teacher come to them on their computer at home. One way or the other, you'll get to know everybody at school.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look! We here at OCTV cover the local events and government meetings of Oxford, Addison, and Leonard. We also produce and edit programs for you viewers out there. With the leadership of our station manager, Bill Service, we have been a very successful team, winning awards from the state of Michigan for Best Electronic Media, giving attention to our local veterans. We also won awards for excellence in directing and educational programs. With the help of our great new equipment and our technical directors, we write, produce, and broadcast our local news for you. Without our production manager, Terry Stiles, our channel and station wouldn't be the well-oiled machine it is today. She coordinates the editing assignments and shoot schedule with our editors and camera people. OCTV and its communities make a great team.
Here's another book about kindergarten. This one is called Look Out Kindergarten, Here I Come by Nancy Carlson. It says, welcome kindergartners. I bet some of you are looking forward to going to kindergarten. Wake up, dear, said Henry's mom. It's the first day of kindergarten. Oh, boy, he says. Let's go, said Henry. He had been getting ready for this day all year. Not so fast, said his mom. First, you need to wash up and get dressed. So Henry brushed his teeth the way his dentist had showed him and washed behind his ears. He has some big ears. And then he buttoned his shirt and he snapped his jeans and almost tied his shoes. Okay, I'm ready for kindergarten, said Henry. Not so fast, said his mom. First, you need a good breakfast. So Henry ate 3 pancakes and a bowl of fruit and drank a big glass of milk. Now I'm ready to go, said Henry. Not so fast, said his mom. You still need to pack up your supplies. Oh, see here his backpack? Oh. So Henry packed up pencils and a scissors and crayons and paper and glue and an apple and a photo of his mom and dad, just in case he got lonely. Now I'm ready, said Henry. What do you think we'll do first, asked Henry. Do you think we'll paint? Sure you will, said his mom, just like at home. Good, said Henry. What else do you think we'll do, Mom? You'll probably learn your ABCs, said his mom. Hey, I already know the letters in my name, said Henry. What will we do after that? You probably sing songs. Look at everybody singing. And play games. And you might practice counting, said his mom. 1, 2, 3 flowers, said Henry. I can count to 10 because we practice counting with buttons. What will come next? You'll make fun things in arts and crafts, and you'll read stories. But I can't read, said Henry. That's okay, said his mom. You'll start by listening. Reading comes later. Here we are, said Henry's mom. It's so big, said Henry. What if I get lost? Oh, Henry sounds a little scared. Remember, we found your room and your cubby at kindergarten roundup, said his mom. But you can always ask your teacher for help. When Henry got his room and saw lots of new faces, he said, I think I want to go home. Why don't you come in and look around, said his teacher, Mrs. Bradley. Oh, he's looking here and he sees some painting. So Henry looked around. He saw the art corner. He saw letters and numbers that he knew. He saw a bookcase full of books, and he met a new friend to play with. Well, what do you think? Asked Henry's mom. I think I might stay for a while, Mom, he said. He decided he did want to stay in kindergarten because kindergarten is going to be fun. The end. Kindergarten is kind of scary and kind of fun at the same time. I hope when you go to kindergarten, you have a wonderful, wonderful first day. I have another story about the first day of school. This is about a girl named Rosie and butterflies on the first day of school. Butterflies in school? It's by Anne Silvestro. And Dream Chen is the person who drew the pictures. Let's see what's going on with all these butterflies. Butterflies on the first day of school. A month before school, Rosie picked out her very first backpack. It was covered with flowers, and she loved it with all of her heart. I can see it. She paraded around proudly. Don't worry, she told her sister Emily. Someday you'll be big enough to go to school like me. Rosie practiced raising her hand, writing letters, and saying her teacher's name. She couldn't wait for school to start. But the night before her first day, Rosie couldn't sleep. I can see that she's in her bed. In the morning, her belly hurt. She didn't touch her chocolate chip pancakes. Maybe I'd better stay home, said Rosie. I don't want Emily to be lonely. She'll be fine, said her mother, and so will you. Rosie shuffled the pancakes around her plate. Come on, sweetie, said her dad. Time to go. Rosie slowly pulled on her backpack. I don't feel well, she said. You know, her dad said, you just have butterflies in your belly. And hugged her tight. Butterflies, said Rosie. That's when the bus pulled up. Does she have butterflies in her tummy? In her belly? This is crazy. I love you, called her mom. Have fun, called her dad. Rosie stared nervously out the window. Soon a girl sat down next to her. I'm Violet, she said. What's your name? Rosie said, Rosie. As she spoke, a butterfly flew from her mouth. Rosie clapped both of her hands over her face. Are you okay? Rosie nodded yes. I have Mrs. Mancini, said Violet. Me too, said Rosie. The words tumbled out, and 2 silver butterflies. Rosie watched them flutter down the aisle. Violet didn't even seem to notice. Welcome, said Mrs. Mancini as the girl entered the classroom. Hang up your backpack, then meet me on the rainbow rug. Everyone fidgeted in the circle. Let's get to know each other, said Mrs. Mancini. I'll go first. I have a golden retriever named Barney. I love chocolate cake, and I'm terrified of spiders. Violet went next. I'm allergic to dogs, she said, and sometimes my brother Alex. This summer I rode a train for the first time, said Jay. I want to be an astronaut when I grow up, said Allison. The butterflies built up in Rosie's belly as she waited for her turn. Suddenly, all eyes were on her. Oh. Emily took a deep breath. I have a baby sister named Emily, she said. 3 butterflies flitted into the air. I'd love to sing and play soccer. I wish I had a freezer in my room so I could eat ice cream whenever I want. The class laughed. Rosie's belly felt much better. After that, Rosie sat at the table. She painted a flower on a giant easel. She made one for Violet, too. Then they helped Jay build a train out of blocks. From time to time, butterflies rumbled in Rosie's belly. Occasionally, one or two of them slipped out. But by recess, she could barely feel them anymore. Rosie dashed to the playground. "You're it," she called. Everyone raced around and played tag. But one girl stood alone under the oak tree. She held her hands on her belly, and Rosie walked over to her. That was kind of Rosie to do. "Want to play?" she asked. The girl nodded. "I'm Rosie. What's your name?" "Isabella." As she answered, butterfly after butterfly soared into the sky. Isabella looked up amazed. "Feel better?" asked Rosie. "Much," said Isabella. At the end of the day, Rosie waved goodbye to her friends. She ran off to the bus and leapt into her mother's arms. "School is so fun," she said. "Violet has a flower name like me. And Jay built a train out of blocks. And Isabella had butterflies too." Her mother smiled. "I can't wait to hear all about it," she said. The words floated out on a shimmering butterfly wing. The end. Sounds like Rosie might have been nervous about going to school. Sometimes when people are nervous, they say that you have butterflies in your belly. It looks like she had them for a little bit, but when she got there and found out how great it was, they all went away. I hope that happens to you too. Well, that's enough about kindergarten. I thought that I would read you a story or one of the poems. Remember the poems that we been reading? From the book Polka Bats and Octopus Slacks. You ready for this one? This one is about Ed. Introducing Ed with cherries on his head. He says, "I like the color, so this stuff is red. Last week he had a fever. His head was very warm. Ed smelled like cherry marmalade, and flies began to swarm." Oh no, he cooked the cherries. That Ed. That was a good poem. Maybe I'll read one more. Skeleton flowers. Late October showers bring delicate skeleton flowers. A ghostly sight on Halloween night. They softly glow for hours. That would be such an interesting thing to see. And there's some poems to end our time together. It was so great that you could come and let me read you a story. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud,